Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome to a discussion video, cleverly disguised as a Minecraft video, where you might recognize the world, but it might look like it just was made and nothing's happened in it yet, and that's because I may or may not have lost the world file. But fortunately, I remembered the seed, because I used the seed New World, because it was the same as the name of the world, and I thought that was funny, and I'm a simple boy. Listen, sometimes in life, you have trouble with your computer. Now, for me, trouble with my computer started at the end of last year, and in fact, before the year had even ended, and in fact, I think as far back as maybe even when we were doing some live streams of Watch Dogs Legion, which I never finished and should probably get back to at some point, but way back then, way back in that distant time period in all of our lives, I did a thing. I did an oopsie, and well, no, I didn't do anything. What am I talking about? I'm distracted because I'm crafting things. I'm trying to remember how to, let's see, uses. Okay, so we do need iron to make the advanced crafting stick. We do need 2 crafting sticks, though, because we got to have a crafting stick to make the advanced... No, we don't need a crafting stick to create the advanced crafting stick, because if you look at uses, we can do it in the little grid. We're fools is what we are. Absolute fools. That's fine, though. We're going to use it to create, I guess, our first pickaxe, and then we'll go get some stone, and then we'll move on from there. So I started having trouble with my computer, and I guess I did make a mistake in that I didn't fix it immediately. The problem was one day I turned it off, because I always turn it off when I'm not using it, to save electricity, not for the planet, right? Like, it'd be nice to say that I'm doing it for the planet. I'd probably get some good internet clout, but in reality, I'm just a very cheap person, and I don't want to pay for electricity I'm not using. Now, I do live in the great state of Texas, where electricity is so affordable that it was a bit of a meme when the winter storms blew through and the electric companies tried to pass on all of the expensive work they had to do on the lines afterward to us, and we were like, no, we barely pay for electricity. You can't go from us barely paying for electricity to paying out the was. No, you don't get to do this. And the governor had to step in and get involved. It was this whole ordeal. In any case, the point I'm trying to get at is I'm just extremely cheap. And I turned my computer off, and then I turned it back on the next day to play some Vidjima games. And yeah, the further back I go in this, I'm pretty sure this has been a problem since like November. It didn't turn on. It went to the motherboard splash screen, and then the little Windows loady thing came up underneath it. And then like 3 hours later, I came back and it was finally on. And I was like, that's weird. But then I used it and it was working fine. I was like, well, I won't worry about it then. And I turned it off and turned it back on. It was the same thing. And I was just like, okay, I'll have to diagnose this later. For now, I'll just leave my computer running all of the time and hope it never turns off. Now, here's a fun fact. If it rebooted, it booted up fine. Like if I went in, hit the Windows button, went to reboot, just restarted the whole thing, it was fine. But if it turned off for any amount of time, if it lost power for any amount of time, we were back to taking forever to reboot. Now, if you're like me and you work a lot with computers, you may know that this could be any number of things, right? I started doing the little mental diagnostics check in my head. I was like, okay, it could be like a memory issue. It could be the power supply, but I don't think so, because it's not like it's dying. Once it's running, it's fine. It's just that in the lead up to that, we're having, or not in the lead up, like, yeah, well, yes, in the lead up to getting it running, it was wacky, wasn't it? There we go. In the lead up to getting it running, it was a little bit problematic, but I didn't figure it'd be the power supply, because if it was the power supply, then you'd expect to have that problem all of the time, not just when you're starting it up. You'd expect it to have a problem under load. And I was like, okay, well, I guess it could be the start drive. But again, once it was booted, it was running fine. So I really didn't know. I really had no idea. To just get to the point and not bury the lead here, I had no idea what the problem was. I figured I'd need to play around with it, and I didn't. And enough time passed that I was finally... It was getting really annoying, and I kept saying, I'll do something about it, and then it just wouldn't turn on. Yesterday, when I sat down to record, and I was like, well, this is all on me. I can't be mad at anyone but myself. I've had ample time while it was running to just hop in there and maybe like back up the install and all of that, and I didn't, and that's on me. But There's some other mistakes in there that we're going to get to. Don't you worry. This is not the conversation I wanted to have disguised as a Minecraft video today, but we'll get to it. So, began doing some light diagnostics. First thing I tried to do, I was like, okay, well, let me just unplug everything besides like the main drive. Why did I make 2 shovels? None of you stopped me either. None of you said a dadgum thing about it. What was wrong with you people? Yeah, so come to find out, first thing I did for diagnostics, I just unplugged everything besides the system drive. It booted right up and worked fine. Began plugging things back in. Turns out the problem, you folks are going to love this, it was the backup drive that I had connected to the computer. I had a big 4 terabyte drive in there, and for some reason, it was just causing the computer to take a really long time to boot, and with it unplugged, my computer works fine. Problem is, somehow, during the process of trying to diagnose it, and I'm still not sure how, something happened to my computer. And I had to do a restore. It's a long story. But upon restoring, I realized the restore point that I had selected was from before I started playing this. And so FTB was gone, backup drive was dead, so it's not like I could restore it. The point I'm trying to get at is, through a series of my own faults, none of this is the fault of the broken computer. I acknowledge I should have had it on the network backup, but similarly to this computer, network backup is going through some stuff, and I was like, that's fine, I'll just back it up to one of these internal drives. Oh, folks. So the world is gone. But fortunately, the world seed was a new world, because I'm a simple boy, and that seemed funny. And so I'm back in. We've got our mountain here. We're going to just resume where we left off. It's going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. We're all going to be having a lot of fun here in the world. I guess something I should note about the last 3 installments of my discussions disguised as Minecraft videos, something that a lot of you probably didn't pick up on, hopefully, is that the last 3 videos were all actually just one big video. So I sat down to record a quick and simple Minecraft update video with the intention of it taking, like 15 minutes, and then I'd be done. Instead, I just kind of kept going and going and going. And, that's how we ended up with an 1.5 hour long video file. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I can split this up into 3 videos. So what I did was, I went into the editing software, and I edited it together as one long video, and it came out to about an hour. So there was about 30 minutes of trimmed out footage. And I was like, okay, that's not too bad. And then I found the natural splitting points, and I divided it into 3 separate videos. And then, for episode 2 and 3, I went in and I recorded an introduction using a different mic. And then I tried to use the EQ bands to, tweak it to make it sound like the rest of the video that was recorded with the mic I'm currently using, and I don't think I quite nailed it. So if you go back to 2 and 3, I think it's probably obvious that they were recorded using a different microphone. No one called me out on it, though. No one seemed to notice. So if you want to right now, go back to episodes 2 and 3, pause this, go to episode 2 and 3, and then just comment, wow, isn't it crazy how the mic in the first 30 seconds sounds different than the mic in the rest of the video? I wonder if he recorded the intro separately. And then you can come back to this video, finish watching this video, and when people get to this video, they'll be like, oh my gosh, they're so clever. But then they'll also know, they'll be able to check the dates of when the videos were released in your comments, and they'll know that you've done a deception. But maybe you'll have them for at least a second. It'll be like a funny April Fool's prank, like the last April Fool's prank that we had on this channel. So every year I try to do an April Fool's prank. I've missed a couple of years. Some years are better than others. One of my favorites was the year that I decided we were going to be an ASMR channel, and I made a couple of ASMR videos, and people were like, hey, no, but actually, though, these are nice. I like these. I'm sorry, I'm trying to mute my watch. You won't freaking shut up. Off the watch goes every time I record. Gotta yank the stupid watch off, because I don't even say the dreaded activation phrase. She just imagines it and starts shouting at me. I hate her! Anyway, in any case, where were we? What were we talking about? What was happening here? We need to get to the top of our mountain where we'll be safe. At least now we don't have to worry about those strange purple plants. Those are gone. We're safe from those at the very least. We might not build our mine all the way from the top this time, because that took a really long time, and that was miserable. But in any case, yeah, because this isn't a series. It was never intended to be a series. This isn't a Minecraft series. We're not going to be playing Minecraft. We're not. This is just videos where I get to talk about things and discuss things that matter to me, and then we happen to have Minecraft in them as a backdrop. And really, the first 3 episodes, I don't even think we were at this mountain, were we? I mean, like right there towards the end, sure. So it doesn't really matter that we've had to reset. All right, let's get up some preliminary defenses, see if we can't keep the monsters away from us. We're going to do that using torches. I feel like this didn't work last time. Pretty sure I died here doing this exact thing. But I think that's just because we let the monsters get too close. They spawned in too close. So the goal this time is to keep the monsters far away early on. And we're going to be doing that with a whole bunch of torches. We're going to light up the night, and we're going to hopefully hold them all back. But yeah, so I did the ASMR prank. I was like, yep, we're going to be making only ASMR gaming videos. And then people actually liked them. I was like, oh no. Maybe I should just do that then, but I didn't. This year's April Fool prank was we were going to do only shorts, and I realized, I believe it was how Rondo commented, he didn't even know what the shorts were, and I was like, uh-oh, maybe I should have explained. So a short on YouTube is basically YouTube's response to TikTok, right? So they're 1 minute or less in portrait mode, so 9:16. Instead of 1920 by 1080, it's 1080 by 1920, right? So you basically turn it on its side, and they're fun. I started using them because I thought it'd be a fun way to sort of recycle, for lack of a better word, some older content from the channel, and they're pretty quick and easy to get to. You know, I'm not investing the same amount of time into YouTube that I did back in the day before I took my hiatus that I called quitting YouTube, because I was quitting YouTube. Just so we're clear, I wanted to make sure we're clear on this. I've said it a few times now, but no, I did intend to quit YouTube. I didn't intend to come back. I've explained all of that if you go back to previous videos where I talked about these things. But yeah, quit YouTube, and then when I came back, I was like, okay, but there's going to be some rules in place for my own sanity, some restrictions that I'm going to put on myself. And so, you know, I'm not investing as much time into video creation. We're certainly not going to have daily videos like we did back in the past, although we did for the last couple of weeks because I had a lot of sort of footage I could work through and turn into content. So I had the footage, and it wasn't that much effort to make a video every day. But, you know, kind of now that footage, the well of footage is running dry, expect to see that decrease a bit. But I figured, hey, with shorts, I can bring back some of my most fun memories from Howdy Folks days past, and kind of repackage them into these little fun little shorts and release them to people who've maybe never seen them before, and it'll be great, and everyone will love them, or at the very least, I'll love them. And at the end of the day, it's my channel, so that's what matters. So yeah, I kind of worked on a few of them, and then the idea to do the April Fool's prank came to mind. I was like, well, I'll just hold on to all of these. I think I went ahead and released the shark one because it was already on a Howdy Folks short channel, like a dedicated shorts channel anyway. I was like, I'll just go ahead and release that one right now, and then we'll come back and we will do all of these other ones in sort of like a quick blitz. And I had an awful lot of fun with that. That was a lot of fun. So just watching people respond to them, they got like this weird burst of views after the first day. So the first day happened, and then there was a burst of views, and I don't really understand why. But then also the burst of views ended. So it was like over the course of an hour. Over the course of a single hour, they all got this massive boom. And then they didn't get any views at all after that. So I don't know what's up with that. YouTube is weird. The analytics are weird for shorts. But people seem to like them. They didn't seem to have any sort of, negativity towards them, which is good. So I would expect to see those, probably not every day, probably not every other day, but maybe like a couple a week as I kind of go through and I think about what some of my favorite Howdy Folks memories are. Do you have any favorite Howdy Folks memories that you think can be trimmed down to sort of a 1-minute YouTube short? Comment them down below. Let me know. I'll go see if I can track them down. The thing that's the freshest on my mind right now is Final Fantasy VII Remake, because that's kind of the last thing we played through together. That was the last series that I streamed. And then immediately after that, I was like, all right, I'm a bounce now. I'd like to stream through that game again. I know there's some more content coming on the PS5 version. I don't know. Maybe is that DLC going to be available on PS4 as well? I'd like to get a PS5. I think we talked about this in a previous installment of Not Minecraft. Just this series where I talk about things. I'm pretty sure I talked about this. I would love to have a PS5. and I would happily wait to get a PS5 and just restream the game on there. I wish they would do more to fix it, though, because here's the thing. One of the things that irked me the most about the PlayStation 4 version of that game is because it's running off of a old spinning hard drive. You are kind of stuck with these sections of the game where you have to go down long hallways. And the reason they do that is so that you're slowed down while the world behind you is unloaded from memory and room is made to load the next part of the world in. That's what a long hallway in a Final Fantasy or any game is for. It's to be like, okay, we don't have enough system resources. Your drive is too slow to stream them in on the fly, so we're going to have to dump everything behind you and slowly load everything in off of that old spinning 2.5-inch drive. It's a nightmare. I hated it. PS5 now. Welcome to 2013, everyone. They finally have SSDs. So I wish they would go back and get rid of those hallways, or just open them up, right? Star Wars Jedi... What was it called? The Jedi Outcast game? Was that what it was? I can't even remember now. Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order? Yeah. That was a great game. Loved that game. Jedi Outcast is a game, but it's a different thing. Maybe it's a book series. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. What matters is it had the same thing. It had the long hallways, and again, for the same reason. So I wish with the PS5 version they would go through and they would get rid of the long hallways because we don't need them anymore. The SSD is fast enough. There's enough system memory that you can kind of stream those things in on the fly and dump them in the RAM, and it's all good. But I don't think they will. It wouldn't be that... I mean, I'm not a game designer, but I don't need the game to be completely redesigned. I don't need to be completely overhauled. You could still have junk in that section. Just let me weave through the junk and not watch a cutscene of someone slowly moving through it, because it's really boring and annoying, and I'm not a fan of it. But I guess at the end of the day, if they can't do that, that is also fine, because it has to be fine, because what are the alternatives? Now check this out. I can do this, and I can make 4 chests all at once. And then, no one commented this. I had to figure this out by myself. If I put it in there, I can turn it into normal chests. And that applies to everything. Remember, I didn't make ladders in a previous installment because of the whole ladder. Like, I don't want multiple different ladders, blah, blah. Not an issue anymore. Not an issue at all. We can convert them all into standard. So we're going to get rid of this dirt that we've got an awful lot of now. I need to do something here real quick. I hope y'all don't mind if I go into my options and controls. I have a very specific setup that I use when I've got something like not enough items or just enough items or too many items or whichever version of that mod we've got installed here. They're all the same. Just enough calculation. I don't know what that is. But based on that, I'm going to assume we have just enough items installed. Oh my gosh. Too many. Too many. I did search through here earlier. I forgot to do it, but I searched through here to see if maybe we had like a vein mine or something. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So we want to show recipe, that, uses, and then show previous page. I think that's how I normally have this configured. I have like this gamepad thing. So, I mean, uses. Yeah, there we go. And then go back. Oh, wait. Nope, I've done it wrong. I guess it was show previous recipe. What, y'all can watch me do this because it's not about the Minecraft you're watching this for. You're watching this for the discussion content. Oh man, so I was hoping to get some interesting comments from folks. I'm going to go ahead and, while I'm scrolling on here, I'm going to open up my phone and I'm going to check on some of those shorts and see if we got any interesting comments. So on the short, 780 views on the short of April Fool's Prank, big announcements. We've got some quality content like, honestly, I did not know shorts were even a thing before this. That's from Hell Rondo. First, April Fool's Day. That's from Gilliam. It is April Fool's Day. Nice call out. Second, from Rees Llewellyn. Oh, no, not like this. Oh, it's April Fool's. You had me spooked there. That's from Jacobs, which is a great username. Oh, I'm back. Okay, good. I made it all the way down. So we want to find show previous page, reset that, and then set show previously viewed recipe as that. And then maybe that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's basically how I have it set up. And the reason I did all of that so I just see, like, what can we do with dirt now that I've got dirt? Can I do anything with it? I can put it in a botany pot. I can make organic compost. Ugh, we're going to have so many just, like, worthless materials after I flatten this thing. Because that's the plan. My plan is to flatten this whole dome-like apparatus. But now that the sun is coming up, mayhaps we shift gears, my friends, and we go mining in the dark. Because that's where you always mine. You know, I've heard people say don't mine at night. You know, like you're looking at the cave and you're feeling kind of brave. But go to bed, you'll be all right. But the thing is, it's always dark in the mines anyway, so you're always at the same level of danger. I mean, I can understand in a situation like the one we're in right now, where in order to go mining, I have to leave the safety of my weather top. Is that what it's called in Lord of the Rings? My fortress here to go explore in the wild world. But in most situations, go ahead and mine at night. You'll be all right. It's fine to mine at night. I mean, this isn't legal advice, obviously. So, you know, if you go into a cave and you get blown up by a creeper at nighttime, I don't want to hear any sort of calls from some TV lawyer. It's like, hey, did someone tell you it was all right to mine at night? Call me. I'm mesothelioma.